next tip for efficiency is going to be related to efficiency in the classroom, related to not wasting paper and not wasting time. So this tip is all about how to do some guided notes for your kids that you won't waste paper and you won't waste class time. You'll actually get some class time back if you can prepare these ahead of time. So first of all, I do use interactive notebooks. I used to use binders with my math students, and I loved binders, still do. Someone suggested to me to use interactive notebooks, and so I tried them out, and I actually love them even more. But the good thing about these notes is that they will work for either one, even though they're a little bit more specifically designed for the size of an interactive notebook. So what I noticed in class was my students, when we needed to take some notes, we were going to go over a new topic, or there needed to be some new vocabulary, some scaffolding as far as like showing some tips and ideas or leading them to figuring some things out. When they opened their notebooks to a big blank page, it could be intimidating or overwhelming for some kids to jot down every single thing on the piece of paper. And so guided notes were the solution for that. And I also used foldables, like guided foldables. I'd pre-type some things, some images, some graphics, and then print it, and then the kids would fold it in class. And I just noticed that the kids kind of wore down from either jotting on a piece of paper that was totally blank, or a foldable that took time to cut, figure out how to fold in the class, and things like that. So I, out of necessity and kind of my students' needs, I came up with these guided notes. And the good thing about them is I'm going to shrink my face and show you an example. This is just an example of one that I've created. And actually, yeah, I'll show you. And so it just has some basic vocabulary, some basic structure for students to kind of orient their learning for the day. And then on the side, you can see there's this big bold black line. There's some guided practice and then some independent transfer. So how this looks, let me come back to me. Printed on a piece of paper is it prints all on one page. And so you've got a full set of notes for students with some examples and practice problems all on one page. And once you cut it for students, you can see in the interactive notebook how that works. So I use the right-hand side for like teacher guided stuff and teacher thoughts. And then the left side, for the student examples and practice problems over here. So you can see how one printed page fits on 2 pages in the interactive notebooks. And, I use colored tape on mine, but my students use clear tape or glue to get it all into their notebook. So let me show you what it looks like in reality. So I just literally type on this form, on a blank template, the information that I want them to know, and then practice it, and some practice examples for the side. I also have this image where you can kind of see it. For how it cuts and examples. If you would like to create your own, I am going to be giving you a template for this and kind of an idea of how to structure it. I have these red margin lines on the side for you. because if you type on the sides of those, there's a good chance that it will be cut off in printing. And so you just leave those on. Here's a template for you. Type everything in here that you want your students to have on their page before they start taking notes. And then you just delete those before you print, or you can print. They probably will not make it in the print anyway. So you're going to get this template with a few options with different example numbers of example spots at the bottom. So the one other main benefit of these notes, besides not wasting paper, you don't have to cut any scraps off at the end. There's no large amounts of scraps going to the recycling bin or large amount of time spent cleaning up because they're using the whole page. You're also getting class time by not having to spend time writing so many notes, like on the blank piece of paper. But also, if you are using foldables, you're not taking the excessive amounts of time to teach the students how to fold. There is some cutting and some taping, but I find that my students, once they've learned the template, they pretty much do it all on their own, and there's not a lot of wasted time. So those are interactive notebook notes. I hope that you learned something or got some great idea from this. Thanks.